John LeBanc Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised. Imagine, if you will, you're sitting home, enjoying a nice dinner. Maybe you're out at a movie theater or at some nice restaurant somewhere with your family, enjoying a good time. Maybe you're out fishing. Who knows? And then all of a sudden, on your phone, you get this.
Ballistic missile alert inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill.
Well, that's what happened to the state of Hawaii on Saturday. Apparently what happened was some fool pressed the wrong button. I didn't know it was that easy to scare everybody to death with just a click of a button. But apparently it is that easy. They're going to have hearings over it. Somebody's head's going to roll. And all the while, these people were terrified for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, that's right, folks. According to the reports, a false ballistic missile threat alert went out to all cell phones in Hawaii last Saturday, sending the state's 1.4 million residents and hundreds of thousands of visitors into a state of panic for more than 30 minutes until emergency officials officially confirmed that the message was sent in error. Seconds after the alert was issued, 911 dispatchers were swamped with phone calls. So that's the actions a lot of people are going to take when they get a threat alert on their phone saying there's an inbound missile. They're going to call 911 to save them, apparently. I mean, why are you calling 911? I don't understand that. What do you think those guys are going to do? Stop the missile from hitting you? Probably, most likely, they're asking where the shelters are at, because nobody knows where the shelters are at. If there are any shelters left. They are still out there. But think about it, ladies and gentlemen. If this were to happen in your neighborhood, in your neck of the woods, would you know where the bomb shelters were? Or would you have to waste time calling 911? Police were able to confirm the message was false alarm within minutes. Yet, it took 30 minutes to inform the state that was, and I'm speaking the people in the state,
This is the police.
that it was a false alarm.
Come out with your hands above your head.
Patrol officers used bullhorns from their vehicles to alert the neighborhood.
Have the place surrounded.
A lot of good that's going to do. Just going down one neighborhood with a bullhorn. I mean, how many Hawaii 5-0 cops are out there with bullhorns? Fighters, meanwhile, allowed dozens of people to shelter in place at fire stations until they could get more information. That's the official story, ladies and gentlemen. That's the one they're propagating out to the vast majority of media consumers. that somebody made an accident, somebody made a boo-boo, pressed the wrong button. Now, how can you just press one button to make that kind of boo-boo? I know when I'm working in my retail, which is just retail, mind you, but when I work in a retail store, that just to log in to put an invoice in so the customer can get something, I've got to put my number in. I've got to go through page after page after page of redundant screens, making sure that I'm doing the right thing. And I'm speaking from an archaic point of sales computer, not high-tech United States military via government computer, whatever you want to say it is. So it's easier, apparently, for somebody just to log on really quick and just push the missile alert. I mean, it's like a psych, right? It's like, oh, missile's coming, you're going to die. Oh, psych. So funny, so funny. You wonder if there's not somebody out there or a group of people sitting behind the scenes just laughing their butts off at all this. Are they telling us that it was somebody who just randomly pushed a button and they were hacked and that's what alerted that? That's what sent off that alarm to everybody? Because, I mean, do you really trust that the government's going to give you the full story on any of these things, especially something of this magnitude? So you have the entire state of Hawaii, visitors and all, just in utter fear for 30 minutes. And it was over, apparently, according to the government. Something simple like somebody pushed the wrong button. Wow. Ooh, hit the red button. Don't see. Maybe it was Baby Groot. Maybe they had Baby Groot and they told him, don't press this button. Whatever you do, don't press this button. And you had Groot going, I am Groot. And he pushed the button and it sent out the alarm. I mean, it's that dumb, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Unless it was something a little more nefarious. See, this wouldn't be the first time that the general public was warned of something that didn't really happen through the media, and the general public went berserk. We can hearken back to the 1930s when Orson Welles put out the radio broadcast, The War of the Worlds, and people who tuned in a little late when they didn't get the very beginning where they were talking about this as a program, and they tuned in past the first 5 minutes of the broadcast, where if you would listen into the broadcast, and I'm going to make that available on LEBANG.com, probably on the show prep page for you guys, so you can go listen to it and see if you missed the first 5-10 minutes of it, you might have thought that this was really happening. There were people in a small little town who, when they heard this broadcast, because they probably tuned in a few minutes late and missed the disclaimer saying that it was a fictional broadcast, these people went out and shot down their own water tower. They totally mistake their own water tower for one of the tripods that was being broadcast on the War of the Worlds little story there. They totally forgot that their own water tower in their town was there. And they went and shot it up because they thought that was a tripod. And I wonder if this wasn't something similar, where they wanted to test out, see how people would react if such an event happened. I mean, they got a full-blown drill without actually having to call it a drill. They even said it's not a drill in the text message. Can you imagine you're sitting there and all of a sudden, the Amber Alert, you think it's an Amber Alert, right? It comes on your phone, you look, and you're like, oh, Amber Alert, I'll look that up. And then next thing you know, it's like, inbound missile going to come blow your ass up. I wonder how many people got out of paying for their check that day at the restaurant they were sitting at. Oh, screw that, we're out of here. Check, please. Check. Oh, boy. So, I'm making a little bit light of the situation, only because it's ridiculous. But then when you think about it in a more deeper fashion, and you realize that this may have been some kind of false alarm, a pretty big false alarm, one that petrified a whole lot of people. But the false alarm produced some results that, well, the governments, federal and state, can utilize to understand better how people would react to a specific event if they knew it was coming. See, I don't even understand why they would warn a whole lot of people, because if a nuke's going to hit, I mean, most people don't know where shelters are. You've seen people were calling 911. Can you imagine that phone call?
Oh my god, let's go 911.
911, how may I help you?
My phone says missiles coming towards us. What should I do?
Well, put your head between your legs and kiss it goodbye.
I mean, those people were in panic. I understand, and I don't want to make light of that, but people, you got to be a little bit more prepared. This is another reason another instance that shows you that the American people aren't prepared for anything, and they probably are going to panic at the first sign of trouble. And, well, this event that happened in Hawaii definitely can be used, at least to be analyzed on how people reacted to the apparent missile attack that never took place because it never happened. And one random person, I mean, do you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? Some dummy, some moron, some ignoramus decided he was going to push the wrong button. Hey, let's see what this button does. Boop. And everybody goes in a panic. Sure, somebody's going to take the fall. Somebody's going to get fired. Maybe a couple of people get fired because the person that pushed the button wasn't trained properly, and that person who trained him probably is going to get fired too. Then you kind of sweep that under the rug. But so many other things came from this. They've got to study a live exercise right there. They didn't even need to have law enforcement in place, ladies and gentlemen. All they had to do is watch the cameras, because we know every street corner these days has a stupid camera on it. At least any mainstream street corner. Tax dollars hard at work, folks. That's what they do. You know, they need that extra money that put us in deficits and all that to pay for those cameras so they can watch people react to a live action drill that was accidentally created by some moronic imbecile out there in Hawaii who figured pushing a red button was funny or something like that. I don't buy the story again. Maybe that's me. I just have a questioning mind, and I don't buy this story that's always spoon-fed to me. I mean, how is it that simple to be able to push a button to freak out an entire state of people? Now just think, this is Hawaii, not one of the biggest states. We'll grant you that. 1.4 million people with tourists. Maybe you got 1.5 military base there. It's interesting. It's all by its lonesome out there. They can't run. It's not like you're here in the state of Michigan and Fermi 2 melts down and you hear about it and you might be able to drive in an opposite direction for a long ways. Even if you got to drive up to the Upper Peninsula over the bridge and out to Wisconsin or whatever, you still have a way to get out. In Hawaii, there's no way to get out. Ballistic missiles coming, you're bumming, dude. Stay tuned as more of today's John LeBang Show is coming your way after this. Now, don't get your panties all worked up.
The John LeBang Show will be right back.
And you'll love it.
Check out the new book from Derek Shelmerdine,
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It tells the story of rock and roll from its roots right up until the mid-70s punk.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Not just the music, but also the events that shaped the music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It includes the backgrounds to recording sessions, singles, album releases, births and deaths, epic concerts, and festivals.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Shelmerdine has made a painstaking effort to document pretty much every event that would prove significant in shaping popular music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Purchase the book at www.rockandrollunraveled.com. Follow him at Twitter at R&R Unraveled and look him up on Facebook at Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
By author Derek Shelmerdine.
Available now.
CRRM, CarePoint Billing Services. Their billers and managers are all dedicated to working for you to increase your profits. For more information, call CRRM at 248-579-3805. CRRM, CarePoint Billing Services. You're listening to the John LeBang Show.
Join the radio revolution right here.
It's better than some good Thai stick, man. Yes, I would like some too. Hey, Leroy, hand me another beer. Okay, Uncle Shady, here you go. They always got to be complaining about what this guy says. Well, why does he say those things, Uncle Shady? Because it's the truth, Leroy. But it's mean, Uncle Shady. Listen here, if the truth was nice, we'd all have pockets full of money, beer till we die, and beautiful women tending to our every needs. I don't know, Uncle Shady. Leroy, just shut up so I can listen.
We're cutting in with some breaking news. Government officials have just enacted a missile threat alert. According to government officials, an inbound ballistic missile might have been launched from North Korea, and the destination is unknown. Seek shelter or kiss your butts goodbye. This was a breaking news alert from BWWR. We send you back to your regular scheduled program.
Did he just say a missile attack, Uncle Shady? Damn right he did, Leroy. What do we do? I don't know, Leroy. Give me another beer. Why do you want another beer, Uncle Shady? Well, if we're going to get blown up, I'd rather be drunk. But what are we going to do, Uncle Shady? Listen here, do I look like I'm from FEMA? Why don't you call 911? See what they tell you. That's a good idea, Uncle Shady. Well, that's because I thought of it.
Yeah, you call 911 hotline? What's your emergency?
Well, they said on TV that we're under a missile attack. What should I do?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of calls on that. Let me see what the training manual tells me. I'll be right back.
What'd they say, Leroy? He put me on hold, Uncle Shady. Figures. Well, while you on hold, give me another beer. Okay, here you go, Uncle Shady.
Hey, sir, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right, it says right here on page 34 of the manual, stop, drop, and roll.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong page. Hang on, let me get that. Oh, here you go. Okay, sir, it says have somebody grab your chest and push really hard. Oh, sir, I was reading from the wrong page again. Here it goes. It says, kiss your butt goodbye. Thanks for calling 911. We have a short survey on my service. Would you like to stay on the line?
No, I don't think I have enough time for that.
All right, well, thanks for calling 911. Take it easy. Bye.
So what'd they say, Leroy? Nothing that's gonna help us, Uncle Shady. Listen here, Leroy. Just call back and find out if there's any shelters around here. All right, Uncle Shady. Right, 911.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number. No further information is available about 911.
Uncle Shady, now it says it's out of order. They must not have paid their ComScan bill. Just hang up, Leroy. Grab the beer. Let's head downstairs, and we'll let everybody know. All right, Uncle Shady. Just think, Leroy, we're gonna miss a Godzilla movie over this. I don't think that's important, Uncle Shady. Whatever, Leroy. Now let's go.
You're listening to the John LeBang Show.
It's what's cool on radio.
So on one hand, we have the Me Tooers. They're all about, women not being looked at as sexual objects and not being, not being forced to endure sexual misconduct, whatever that definition is. It's so vague. Because anything can be sexual misconduct, depending on the perspective of the person and how sensitive a person might be. Then we have, on the other hand, out in New Hampshire, a big court case going to the state's largest legislature. And that court case deals with the fact that women want to be able to walk around topless. So they want to show their boobs off to the world for whatever reason. Primarily, I would think it'd be at the beach, but maybe they just want to walk around the mall with their tops off. And it's becoming a heated issue in the state of New Hampshire, and there's some talk on the internet between people. Hey, some guys are all for it, as long as they don't get busted for looking at them or, staring at some nice boobies, then that's great. On the other hand, there are guys that are saying, well, hey, there are even men who shouldn't be taking their top off. And maybe the better answer to this, instead of going to court to have the ladies be able to remove their garments, exposing their breast area, instead of that, why don't they just say nobody can take their shirt off? I mean, in public, why should we need to expose our bare chest to anybody, male, female, or whatever gender you claim you are? There shouldn't be, there should be a level of respect for everyone else that maybe we don't want to see your naked torso bouncing around for everybody to see. But that's just me. And I'm speaking in public at your house. If you want to rock around without any top on, shirt on, bra on, shoot, if you want to walk around with your pants off, that's all cool, whatever you do in your house, as long as it's not hurting anybody else. But in public, shouldn't we have a little respect for each other? See, we've gone way beyond that in the public domain. We don't respect each other that maybe somebody doesn't want to see those sort of things. We've taken the position, as a country that is, that everybody has to be forced to see whatever you want to expose in public. So that means we get to look at a lot more ugly, a lot more strange, a lot more weird than we ever have, at least as long as I've been on this planet Earth. Long ago, when I was young, I was one of the weirdos if I had my hair down. That was extreme when I was growing up. Now that's nothing. In fact, not many people, men that is, have straight hair, or long straight hair, or long hair for that matter. But everybody out there is attempting to express themselves, that's what they claim, through some form of weirdness, whether it be a great deal of tattoos, specific tattoos, nose piercings, septum piercings, lip piercing, face piercing, cheek piercings, eye piercings. I don't know if they butt pierce. I don't know what they do anymore. And the rest of us have to endure looking at this sort of thing. And the argument is that we want to express ourselves. Express ourselves. Well, express yourselves at home. When we're in the public domain, when we're walking around, interacting with the rest of humanity, if you want to call them that, there should be a level of respect that maybe those people don't want to deal with your crap. What, And people are like, well, the argument is that I can express myself, and if you don't like it, you don't have to look. Sure. I don't have to look in your house. That's it. That's what I don't have to look at. When I go in public, I have to look, because if I'm not looking, I run into things. People run into me, and you might run into the wrong person and get killed these days. So we have to look. So is it too much to ask from a, middle-aged American male and his perspective? Is it too much to ask for everybody to leave their shirts on, men and women, and do us all a favor? If you want to look a little weird, just leave it at home. Look weird at home. If you want to go to a bar that has weirdos at it, then that's fine too. But the level of strangeness has gotten so prevalent in our culture that you can't go anywhere without seeing some kind of person doing or wearing or acting in some kind of weird manner. And to them, we're supposed to accept it. And we're just supposed to go on with our lives. And what that's going to do, and maybe that's why things like Amazon and other online outlets are, they're growing so much. It's because people don't want to go out and deal with the crazies that go out in the world that you have to deal with now, because we're forced into putting up with nonsense each and every day in the public domain. See, a lot of this stuff back in the day was left to the privacy of your own dwelling. And that's very much how the country is supposed to be. Whatever you do, your private world, you leave it there. You don't drag it out into the middle of the world for the whole world to see. But that's a thing now. It's a real thing to go out there and just be yourself. And who cares who you offend? Doesn't matter who you offend in the public domain. It's a lot different if you go to a bar that has some strange things going on and you choose to go there and see it happening, versus you're out in the world and the weirdos show up at the bar that has where the normal people are supposed to be at. Hey, that's okay. We're allowed to go anywhere we want, right? We're allowed to go anywhere we want. But is it too much to ask that we show a little respect for each other in the public domain, and we don't act a fool, and we leave our weirdo stuff at home, okay? You just go out there and you just meld into the melting pot. And then when you go home, you can have your little piece of whatever. And that may be too much to ask these days. All this because some women in New Hampshire want to take their shirt off, and I'm like, I think we've gone too far. How about everybody wear their shirt in public? How many fat dudes have we seen out there, no shirt on, bouncing around like a beached whale? That's not pretty to look at. That burns memories into your brain. We've got to take a quick break, folks. The things that happen here in the world, it's just amazing. More on the flip side. Smoke them if you got them.
Because the Jolly and the Bang Show will be right back
After this.
That's guaranteed. Yes.
If you are elderly, disabled, receiving SSI or Medicaid, and you have a medical need or require assistance with daily housework, shopping, grooming, medication, you may qualify for housekeeping at no cost. Call now. VIP Home Healthcare, 248-579-3805. VIP Home Healthcare, there when you need them. That's 248-579-3805. And I'd like to welcome our new sponsor, Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning. For a beautiful, sparkling shine that's crystal clear, call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass. Leroy, you go find the hillbilly. I'll go tell the geek. Okay, Uncle Shady. Hey, geek, we got a bomb heading in.
Oh, hello.
Oh, my God, what are you doing?
I'm just adjusting the nipple rings.
No wonder the Tin Canyon's mad at you.
What's this about an emergency?
Apparently, there's a ballistic missile coming.
Where'd you hear that?
On the news.
Well, we better head down to the basement. Hi, Dork. Emergency Protocol 13.
Acknowledge!
All right, let's go.
Hello?
I'm in here. What's up?
There's an emergency on the news.
What kind of emergency?
There's a ballistic missile coming or something.
Holy crap. And it's coming here?
Well, they didn't actually say where it was going.
Did anybody check to see if this wasn't fake news?
I don't think there's time for that.
All right, let me finish and I'll be right there.
All right, I'll wait outside.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
Forces of darkness, the treasonable minds who collaborate must, can, and will be wiped from the face of the earth.
And apparently, we have some more information about the Las Vegas shooter. Looks like the FBI knew more than they had let on early in the investigation. Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, the FBI knew that this guy had a bunch of weapons stored away, stockpiled, when they were going to search his home, his residence, the places they were searching for any evidence that would tie this together so they could figure out why this guy did what he did, which we still can't figure that out. But the FBI knew. Strangely, they knew. They always seem to know. The FBI is good like that. You know, the FBI, man. Federal Bureau of Investigation. They know how to investigate. They know how to get information. They just don't know how to stop anybody from doing it. The FBI was there for the Boston bombers. No problem. They knew about those guys. And then they knew about the San Bernardino shooter. Now they know about this guy. So obviously the FBI is on the ball. They're well informed. The only problem with the FBI is they just can't stop them. Maybe that's not in their jurisdiction. Maybe the jurisdiction falls to no one. Have you noticed there's been a little bit of a die down since the last election? Just a little bit of a die down. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or something building from this. Because when they happen, they all happen. You know, it's just like boom, then another boom, then another boom. You know, we'll have one in France, and then we'll have something in somewhere in the States, and then maybe something in Germany. Then maybe we'll have something over in Canada or something. Although Canada's always excluded from the bombings. We haven't seen, maybe nobody wants to attack Canada. I mean, why would you want to attack Canada? Yeah. You go up there and smoke pot with them. They let everybody in. Hey, man, it's cool, eh? We smoke pot up here, eh? And only the internet seems to have a different viewpoint in what happened. And there are many theories. There are so many theories out there that it boggles the imagination. I don't believe the official story. There are way too many holes. The biggest hole is the official story. How does a guy get a room, can't get the room he wanted, was in another room, the night before the shooting, he gets the room he wanted, has to transfer all those weapons one way or another. I don't know how that happened. Whole bunch of weapons. And then nobody noticed it. Nobody says anything. Nobody calls the police. FBI knows, but they don't know. He goes out and just starts blowing people away from a window. None of the people upstairs, downstairs, around did anything about it. Waited 30 minutes, 35. I forgot how many minutes it was. It was like an hour. Wasn't it forever before they did something about this guy? Then there are the reports of the, people who were there, who heard shots coming from the ground from different angles. And although the Las Vegas police force and, the FBI and all that have an official story, it doesn't exactly jive with some of the information that's available. Go look at some of the videos if you can still find them. And find out, there does seem like multiple shooters coming on. Hey, there are helicopters in the area that have flashing lights in the way distance there. I don't know. I don't know what they were doing, why they were there, what purpose, for what reason they were there. We don't know. We're just left with more and more questions about the Las Vegas shooting. Now, what, 4 months away? Just still nothing there at all. But maybe that's how it goes in the government at this juncture in history. We have a Russian probe that can't seem to produce anything, but they keep having to investigate and have this probe. We have a Las Vegas shooter that they can't find anything about why he did it, but they know he had the weapons. They were well aware of it. Hey, you don't know, whatever. There's just random things like that that make you question the official stories. And then the Oprah won't go away. Won't go away. It's all we hear. Oprah, 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 Oprah. Every freaking tabloid news agency out there is talking about Oprah for president. Is she going to run for president? Will she run for president? I don't know if she's going to run for president. I was speaking to a friend who listens to the show on a regular basis, and she expressed that she doesn't think Oprah is going to run. I don't know if Oprah is going to run. But what I do know is that they're testing the waters out. They're seeing what kind of reaction Oprah is going to get if she does run. And that's why we're seeing so much of her in the news these days. Out of nowhere, really. Oprah, Oprah, Oprah. Everywhere, Oprah. The Oprah. She's like a giant monster. And I'm not talking about her physical stature. I'm talking about her public presence right now. And they're testing the waters out. And it's at this perfect time where the Me Tooers are gaining steam. There's no steam in the 1990s when Bill Clinton was the sexual predator, the one doing the sexual misconduct. He was just having fun with cigars, he says. Or she says. You go back and you look at some of that old footage and you laugh about it now. What a scandal that was. All the scandal wrapped around the Clintons. Always scandal, 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 scandal. And she was the popular vote away. Thank goodness we have an electoral college this time around, right? She was a popular vote away, and primarily because of California, from being president right now and having her finger on the nuclear button, having to deal. Could you imagine the difference the country would be right now instead of Donald Trump? One, there wouldn't be a Russian probe and we wouldn't be stalling the entire Trump presidency from getting anything really going. Sure, there's been a lot of executive orders. Some judges have been, appointed that have been conservative, I guess, if you like conservative values. I tend not to fall in either camp, conservative or liberal. I have a little bit of both too. So I'm neither and I'm both. I mean, I thought that's what American meant, really. You weren't hardcore conservative and you're not a full-blown lefty liberal. You think about things. You don't judge it on the political oligarchy, the duality called the Republican-Democrat Party. You don't make judgments on that. You make judgments on the people themselves and who they are. Something funny that just surfaced. We'll see what transpires. I haven't seen anything to the positive of this. In other words, I have not seen evidence that this is out there. But I want to put my voice on it because if there are going to be people out there saying this exists when I can't find it, not that I've looked too hard, but I'm going to continue looking for it. There's supposedly, not that I want to watch it, but there's supposedly a Oprah Winfrey sex tape out there. If that exists, that blows her presidency chances out of the water, I would think. I mean, America's in a strange place right now, so maybe that would expand her popularity, and which to be honest with you, would be incredible because she's already extremely popular. Probably, maybe, very close to the most popular woman on the planet, I would think. I could be wrong, you have a queen here and there and some other really highly touted figures, but I think Oprah Winfrey is very close to the most popular woman on the planet, and more power to her. I mean, she's worked hard, so to speak. She's moved her way through the industry, Hollywood and TV and all that, into a position of great importance to a lot of people. Never mind the fact that she's really the female Donahue. And if you want Donahue as president, then you're okay with Oprah Winfrey as president. Personally, I don't see the attraction of having a person who preys on people's emotions, preys on them like a vulture, and makes a lot of money doing it, as something I want in my president. Of course, we have to deal with the Trumpster over there who can't seem to stop himself from tweeting, which is a big issue in my opinion. But it does allow him to get himself out to his people around the media, because they cut and slice and they chop up his words left and right. There's no doubt about that. You would be completely blind to think that the news media hasn't changed their approach to how they report the happenings inside the White House in the last year. They handled the Obama administration in a much different way than they handled the Trump administration. Very much so. If you don't see that, then you're not really paying attention, or you're one of those extremists, hacks on the far supposed left. Again, I don't prescribe to those left-right paradigm duality, concepts, because all they do is cause a divide in the country, and to the point where we have to find a way to unify. And if that means we need to stop with the massive diversity, and I'm not speaking of race, and I'm not speaking of anything else, but there's an American way and then there's not an American way. And if you want to be an American, you should probably follow in the American way. And if you don't like that, if you don't like the Constitution, if you don't like the Bill of Rights, if you think they're unfair, if you want to be in a socialist country versus a country that promotes direct freedom to each individual versus groupthink, then you're in the wrong country. And you should probably seek a country out that more suits your belief system. Though people will say, well, why don't you leave? Well, because I'm a constitutionalist and I believe in the Constitution. Is it a perfect document? No, but it's the best one that was ever created on the face of the earth by man. Man's a flawed being. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not talking man as the gender. I'm talking man as mankind. The one race, the human race on the planet. We're flawed. We have a lot of, issues. And when you take that there are 7+ billion people on the planet, there are going to be a lot of different issues to deal with. And it's hard to mold and make everything in the world under one umbrella. It takes a lot of breaking of eggs. And I think that's what we're seeing over the last decade or two. We're seeing a lot of eggs being broken just to force feed the general public a specific agenda brought on by a specific group who wants to control the world and who acts like, this is the best part, they act like they tear down the structures and rebuild it under a new banner. But that's all they do is rebuild it under a new banner. But it's the same structure, just with a little more power, a little more strength, a little more experience. We've got to take a quick break, folks. Last segment coming your way. Stay tuned.
Where do you think you're going?
The John LeBang Show will be right back.
So grab a beer and a smoke and sit your butt back down. Stay right here.
Powerful, epic music by Toothbox Row. Life-changing lyrics come in every style, empowering humanity to finally unlock the chains of bondage. Experience the edgy side of positive music and rock your world today. From Primal to Divine, available now at sassyalternativemusic.com.
Fans, do you need a video for your brand new song but don't have a lot of money? Then contact John LeBang. His reasonable rates, professional look, and fast turnarounds will help get that song off the ground. Contact him at jlebang.com. All right, I'm going to go find out what's going on.
What should I do?
Just wait here.
Hey, Billy, we're getting ready to go down to the basement. Hey, did anybody tell John?
No, I haven't seen him.
You think somebody should tell him?
I'll handle that. You guys stay here.
It's probably better we go down to the dungeon.
Well, why don't we wait to make sure before we head down there? You guys stay here. I'll be right back.
I think we should just go to the dungeon and wait for him.
You know, Geek, you're probably right. Come on, Leroy.
Okay, Uncle Shady.
If you want to contact the John LeBang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John LeBang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John LeBang Show. Banger. Now here's John.
All right, welcome back, folks. As we got a little time here before we skip on out of here, wanted to touch on a subject that's one of my favorites, and that's the band AC/DC. Malcolm Young is going to be honored, the late, great Malcolm Young is going to be honored at a charity concert, or with a charity concert. According to The Pulse of Radio, late AC/DC co-founder and rhythm guitarist Malcolm Young will be honored with a charity tribute concert in Australia this February. The event will take place in Melbourne Centre Hotel on Saturday, February 17th, the same day AC/DC released their debut album, High Voltage, in 1975. The artists confirmed for the event include local AC/DC cover band Whole Lotta Rosie, along with members of various well-known Australian acts such as Jimmy Barnes Band and Powerfinger. All proceeds from the show will be sent to the Dementia Foundation. Malcolm, who was the co-founder of AC/DC with brother Angus in 1973, died on November 18th at the age of 64 after suffering from dementia and failing health for several years. His condition forced him to leave the band in 2014, and his nephew Stevie Young took his place. Hundreds of mourners gathered for his November 28th funeral in Sydney, Australia, including Angus and other members of the Young family, along with former AC/DC drummer Phil Rudd, ex-AC/DC bassist Mark Evans, and Cliff Williams, and AC/DC singer Brian Johnson. We're assuming he's still the singer. We don't really know who the singer of AC/DC is right now. Thank you, Angus. Malcolm was remembered as a humble man and musical mastermind. Malcolm Young, one of my favorite guitar players of all time. Probably my biggest influence as far as it goes to me playing guitar. He had this very unique, choppy guitar playing that not many guitar players could mimic properly. And it's good to see that some people are remembering him and people are coming together and they're going to donate some money towards a foundation, the Dementia Foundation, that could desperately need some money. So that's that. We don't know what's going to happen with the future of AC/DC, what they're going to do as far as future albums, who the band members are going to be, what the lineup's going to look like. In fact, Cliff Williams retired after the last tour, so the current lineup, as set by the last tour, would be Axl Rose at singer, AC/DC at lead guitar, Chris Slade at drums, Stevie Young at rhythm guitar, and they don't have a bassist yet. Who are they going to get? We don't know. Are they going to continue? We don't know. But the question is, should they continue? I've always said that I think they should just call it quits. Call it the end. Go out on a high note. But since they decided to forego that by continuing on without Brian Johnson, hopefully he can come back. But they decided to finish the tour without Brian Johnson, with Axl Rose fronting the band, even though he had a broken leg. Brian Johnson had a hearing aid that really helped him singing, but, you know, Axl Rose was the better choice, apparently. So now we have a band called AC/DC that should be called Angus DC. And that's my opinion on that. If you want to find out any of this information, you can go to the website. That's www.jlebang.com, and go to the show prep link, and you can find out what we're talking about here on the show. You can also see the upcoming interview schedule that we have lined up, including some great interviews coming up for the music hour, the first hour, which is more of talk and news, and then the second hour, which is a bit more of a variety hour. On January 20th, we've got Prowess, the band, coming in. They're from Charlottesville, North Carolina. We're going to be doing an interview in the music hour, so check out the website for times and stations on that. We also have Derek Shelmerdine coming in on the last Sunday of the month. We have Sarah Bowman, author of Liddy's Day in the Country, coming in on Super Bowl Sunday to discuss her book. We also have Sabrina Fala coming in on February 9th during the music hour. She's the winner of the Best Female Solo Artist during the 2018 Banger Music Awards. A couple weeks later on the music hour, we're going to have the band Nothing Sounds Good coming in. Then just a couple weeks later on the music hour, we're going to have New Day Dawn joining us. And on April Fool's Day week, we have a special treat for you. We've got Paul Farah joining us from over the pond in England. He's going to bring his twin with him, and they're going to bring the mayhem. So definitely join us for those fine broadcasts. You can go to and find out a lot of things on the website, actually. We probably have one of the most active as well as updated websites of any of my peers. Nobody compete. And I don't want to. This is not disparaging them. This is just highlighting how well we put the show together and how well we do things here on the John LeBang Show. We don't give you a half-baked broadcast every week. Certainly, there are days where we're not as into it as other days, but for the most part, we put the work in. We spend many, many, many hours putting together the skits and the stories and talking about what's going on. We rarely just come in half-cocked and decided we're going to do a show and have no research done at all. And you can find out all this research. You can see what's coming up on the show. All that is on the website, www.jlebang.com. With that being said, it's been a long time since we've opened the phone lines out to you, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to do that here in this last segment. And we want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So whatever's on your mind, feel free to call us at that special banger hotline. And looks like our first call is coming in from Washington, D.C.
There's no missile coming. It was a huge screw up with fake news. Nobody touched my missile. Let me assure you, John, it's just fake news.
Okay, thanks for your call. Going out to Dallas, here's Tex.
Y'all, I heard a mysterious boom and shook my house like crazy.
Yeah, I heard there were noises out there in Dallas.
But I can tell you what it was.
Really? Because the authorities don't know what it is, sir.
Just my wife, she tripped over the cat.
Up next, we go out to Colorado. Ditzy, you're on the John LeBang Show. What's your topic?
Hi, John. I just want to talk about the topless story you spoke about earlier.
Okay, what do you have to say about it?
I couldn't agree more with you, John. If you don't have nice boobs, you shouldn't be going topless.
So that means you're pro being topless?
I love to go topless, John. Only women with beautiful boobs like mine, John, should be able to go topless. Not those girls with those little titty witties.
Aren't you afraid that guys will stare at them?
Oh, we love it when men stare at our boobs, John.
Not according to the Me Tooers.
Whatever, John. They're complaining now after they're rich. Bye.
Okay, thanks for your call. Our next call comes from England. Henry, what say you?
Apparently, the science community thinks the world's future is bleak.
Yeah, according to these guys, apart from the ozone layer stabilizing, the rest of the world's going to hell in a handbasket. Of course, they don't talk about what the ozone layer actually is and how it's stabilized. But apparently, the runaway consumption is the greatest threat to mankind.
That's what they said.
Thanks for your call. So everything scientists have said that we were going to kill ourselves by now are still the problem. They haven't gone away, but they haven't killed us yet. But they might kill us soon. Our next call comes from our new affiliate in Maine.
Thanks for having me on. Long time listener, first time caller.
Well, welcome to the show.
Listen, I want to talk about the sex lives of the millennials.
Yeah, that's been a subject of some recent articles.
Apparently they ain't getting no sex because they live back with no mama and daddy.
Well, if their mom and dad are still together.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. What do they expect, you know? Are you supposed to have privacy at home with their mama and daddy? They don't remember when they had the rub one off, they had to go in the bathroom all private and everything?
Well, people's attention spans aren't that long.
Just man, most of these people rub it off every night. They should know better. They want to have some sex, get your ass a job, a car, and maybe some girl go out with you.
Unless they're a Me Tooer.
No, that's a good point too. What those young boys going to do in the future?
Well, what do you mean?
Ain't going to be wanting to talk to no girls, get sexual assault put on them.
You got a point there. Maybe that's why there's sex robots.
I don't know if I want to get one of them. At least they don't talk back to you. I'm going to hang up now. Thanks for taking my call.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for yet another 60 minutes of the John LeBang Show. Down the drain. I'd like to thank all of our affiliate stations for allowing the John LeBang Show to be part of their brilliant networks. Don't forget to go to my website. That's www.jlebang.com. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening each and every week. The numbers have been great again. And until the vibration of my vocal cords reach your ears again, this is John LeBang signing off from the Banger Studios.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Tune in again.
Alright, through here.
Been a while since I've been down here. Yeah, me too, Uncle Shady. When I caught you in the closet that one time, that was it for me. I didn't come down anymore.
Okay, through here.
Between you and the weirdos in the cage, I don't need to come down here.
Oh my, I think we got a big problem.
Where'd they go?
I don't know. I haven't been down here in a while.
Leroy, did you leave the cage open the last time you were down here watching Porn 2? No, Uncle Shady. I didn't even go near their cage. There's something fishy about this. Why do you say that, Uncle Shady? Listen here, Leroy. After my first wife, I know fishy.
We better tell the guys.
Oh, there you are.
Hey, Hillbilly, we got some bad news.
Yeah, and I got some good news. Looks like that missile attack was a false alarm.
What do you mean false alarm?
Guess somebody in the government just pushed the wrong button.
You mean it's that easy to scare everyone?
Apparently so.
That doesn't sound right.
Well, that's the official story.
Sounds like a bunch of BS to me.
So what's your big news?
Well, the fairy boys are on the loose.
Yeah, I know. I let them go.
What are you, stupid?
We better tell John.
Defense protocols in place. Hi, Dork, when's the last time you were here?
It's been a while. I stay away from the weirdos.
See, Leroy, even the tin can's got some sense.
What's that supposed to mean, Uncle Shady?
It means there's hope for you, Leroy.